Alright, so new patch notes for the slime collab are here, and I already know the Rimuru is OP. We're just gonna be going over everything, and this video will likely be very long because the patch notes are very long. So sit back, maybe put the video in 1.25 times speed or 1.5, and let's go over this. Also, don't forget to check out Gamerselfs, link in the description, 10% off code NAG. I'm so smooth. Anyways, new Rimuru and Shuna are here alongside the 3 OG slime characters, which are all buffed and with new holy relics. We're going to be talking about those buffs in a second. So, new Rimuru, he's pretty good. And by pretty good, I mean very good. He is the defining factor if you want to summon on this banner or not. Like, the buffs for the old characters are really good. I've actually already looked at all of them. I wanted to actually look at everything before actually recording the video. And they are very good. But I think this Rimuru will be the defining factor for the banner. So, his passive, at the beginning of every ally's turn, increases your basic stats by 8%. Also, removes one buff from each enemy, and increases your basic stats by 8% for each buff effect you remove. Gives yourself the effect of increasing the pierce rate by 130% for 3 turns once you get 5 of those stacks of removing the enemy's buffs. So, quite long. But essentially, you get all this pierce from doing that because his first card is a single target pierce card, which is a version of this card right here. Oh, I don't even have to translate. Thank God. It's a base. Is a version of this card right here. Let me actually go by skill filter and pierce. It'll be easier. Which got buffed. This should be 160, 240, 400. You can see that this is 500 because it got buffed to a 200, I think 400 and 500. Let me actually check. It's at the bottom. Did Greencrest Database put it on the patch notes? No, they just put the unit. I think it's the bottom of the bottom here. Yeah, 200, 300, 500. Those are the single target numbers. And his AoE is none other than the best AoE they could have possibly given him. In fact, the same infect as Lolly Merlin. Infect on level 1. Which means a heavy metacock for Tarmiel Link. Huge. They know what they're doing. They know what they were going for with this. So they gave him the same infect card as Lolly Merlin for that reason. Let me actually reread this in the the English translation from Greencrest Database. At the start of ally's turn, increases the hero's basic stats by 8% and removes one buff from each enemy. For each buff removed, increases the hero's base stats by 8% when it's at max. Stack, the following effect activates for once only for 3 turns. Increases the hero's pierce rate by 130. So yeah, once you get to 5 stacks of that 8%, you get the 130. But yeah, his ultimate is Abyss, which is the same ultimate as Festival King. The OG one is a really good ultimate. Inflicts damage equals to 300 on all enemies. Gain Abyss effect and take 50% less damage for 2 turns. The Abyss inflicts an additional 30% of damage dealt at the start of the enemy's turn. Or up to 60 if you go up to 6/6. Okay, they should actually link the ult animations here. Oh, this is for Shuna. Okay, I do like the ultimations, although I find the choice for the attack to be a little bit weird. They chose to give Rimuru an attack that he just doesn't do in demon form after he becomes Demon Lord, which is Nagato. I'm pretty sure by the name, maybe I'm just wrong. Yeah, it says Demon Lord Rimuru. And I expected maybe he should have like an attack that he does in Demon Lord, but I guess Megiddo is a very like iconic attack that he does, so it makes sense to be giving him that. So Shuna, you got the character. Shuna is also I haven't talked about his Holy Relic. So his Holy Relic, all the Holy Relic does is give him 80% pierce. That's the whole effect for the Holy Relic. And it works well because of his Pierce card. He hits like a truck. We saw the JP stream sort of use him for like 5 minutes. It's not even worth showing the gameplay. Their gameplay is always horrendous, but even they made him look good. So you know it's it's a big deal. But Shuna decreases damage received from unknown race allies by 20%. Now this is something that clearly works in the back, and she's meant to be support for Rimuru. Now, if you're going to be using her, I must say that as far as unknown support goes, the OG Green Ram might just be better, because of 20% basic stats to unknown is just flat out better than 20% damage reduction. But if you're going to squeeze her to be in the front, then using her with Green Ram in the back might work out pretty well. You have the damage reduction and the stat buff, and you got all the healing that she's providing. So she has the same stun card as Goddess Liz. Cancel stances on one enemy, inflicts damage equal to 250, and then stuns for 2 turns. It's 200 and stuns for 1 turn at level 2, and then obviously 200 and does nothing at level 1. Same stun card as Goddess Liz, and then she has a heal card that applies Rejuvenate. Now, her Holy Relic, once she uses a healing card, she cleanses 1 debuff from each ally, similar to Megalda's Holy Relic, and she increases all allies' pierce rate by 20% for 2 turns. So clearly they want you to use her with Rimuru. And then her ultimate is honestly one of the things that I kind of dislike about their new philosophy, if I want to call it that, of not giving characters combo ultimates anymore. This ultimate sucks. So it's the same ultimate as base Galfer, where he depletes 3 ultimate gauge from all enemies. Now, base Galfer's ultimate is still an ultimate that I consider to be very good because of the link. The Galfer plus King link makes it so the ultimate depletes 5 ultimate gauge, which is a big deal. It's the whole ultimate gauge from your enemy, and it completely resets your enemy to 0, essentially, in terms of ultimate. Now here, it's still going to be an annoyance removing 3 ultimate gauge, but it's not the same. Removing 5 ultimate gauge is demoralizing if the enemy is like trying to ult rush. But yeah, they could have easily given her an ult link, because this ultimate effect is mediocre without the link, and the damage is terrible. So, I don't know, miss with that. But in terms of the rest, I think she's decent. Again, Rimuru is the defining factor. If you kind of like Shuna, then maybe you shouldn't summon. But if you really like Rimuru, then that's your choice. Now the old characters, right? But let me see. Let me show the ultimate here. A sip of water while we waited for the ultimate to play. But you can see, if you recognize that, it's from when she like pushes some like skeletons and stuff. She's not a very combat person, so I'm kind of even surprised they gave her a damaging ultimate. They could have easily given her Goddess Liz ultimate, which probably a good idea they didn't give her Goddess Liz ultimate, but the banner is really bad. So along with the 2 new characters, you have the 3 OG, which after the buff, they are pretty good. We're going to be talking about them. They are pretty good. So, you know, but the rest of the banner is so bad. So this Lilia is green Lilia, right? Lilia the Magician, it has to be green Lilia. Mage Lilia Doombringer. The controls, I guess it's blue Lilia. No. Misclick. God damn it. Mastermind. I guess it's Green Lilia. It's gonna be Green Lilia, Counter Mali, Green Escanor, Green Merlin, Green Darieri, Green Estarossa, and Blue Dro. This banner sucks balls. For a reason. They know you want to summon because it's a collab. There is a really good argument for people skipping this banner because of how terrible it is. Now, again, this Rimuru is really good. Really good, I think. Shuna's pretty decent as well for what it seems. And the three OG characters with the buffs are pretty decent. But anniversary comes in 1 month from here. And Global has a really good advantage that we're going to be getting anniversary on JP in 1 month, right? And then Global is going to get this right here in 2 weeks. So they're only going to be 2 weeks apart from seeing what JP is going to get for anniversary. You can easily hold your gems for 2 weeks to see how broken and good the anniversary banner is gonna be like before just blowing it on this banner. Now, if you want slime because it's a collab, don't let me tell you what to do. All right, it's a high banner to sound for, but I think a lot of global players should consider that if they are on the fence about summoning on this banner because they really want Rimuru, they really want because it's good. Maybe consider the anniversary is coming in 1 month, and you have ample time to see how good that unit is, right? So keep that in mind. JP players don't have that luxury as much, but keep that in mind when it comes to that. So those are 2 new characters. And let's talk about the OG characters. I actually want to talk about that first. By the way, the Holy Relics, it seems like we're going to be using the same materials that KOF used. So if for whatever reason you have like Kyo, but you don't have his Holy Relic, you might be able to like make the KOF relics with this material. If you missed out on making them by like back then, maybe you weren't playing the game. If you like don't pull like, I don't know, Benimaru or something, and you get extra materials, you could like make like Kyo's relic or some shit. But you're gonna be getting 10 free tickets for the banner, right? I'm skipping a lot of stuff here, but we're going to come back. You're going to be getting 10 tickets from the banner on login. So that's 1 multi. And another 10 tickets from missions. And Blue Rimuru for free. Now, you're going to be getting Blue Rimuru for free. Before this update, you'll be like, he's a trash character. But actually, after update, he's pretty decent. I'm going to skip out a lot because we're going to be talking about the buffs here. Here. So these are the buffs. They're buffing all their stats and their super awakenings. So this right here are their base stats, all right? Before regular awakening and super awakening. So keep that in mind because it makes a big difference. When we look at characters usually, we're looking at them after they get awakened and after they're getting super awakened as well. Usually just after everything's done, everything's added to them, that's when we're looking at their stats, right? And this is before all of that. Before they get awakened, before they get super awakened, before cosmetics, before anything. This is the raw stats. And these raw stats are really good. Milim, which used to have 0 Pierce, now has 40. Good change. And all their stats are being revamped. Every single one of their stats is being buffed. And Super Awakening, I was actually talking to my friend Sora. He said, man, the Super Awakening for the slime characters is really bad. And they went ahead and actually buffed the Super Awakening. Not by that much, but the fall was there. Like here, like from 8% crit damage went to 24. Listen, I appreciate it. It's a nice buff. They could have neglected that and just not done it, but they did it because they, goddamn it, if you get the old characters, make them good, you know? These stats are good. They are competitive, I think, stats-wise. Especially considering that this is before regular Awakening, which gives a lot of stats, and Super Awakening as well. So, yeah. And they're also buffing Milim's attack. You know, the shitty Milim attack did 60%, now it's 160, 240, 400. Compared to 60, 200, 200. Major buff. And they're buffing Rimuru's stance, which was terrible, and now at least has taunt on level 1, and lasts for 2 turns level 2. Now, is the stance much better? Not really. Also, their basic stats are being buffed as well. Now, there is one thing I must say. Amongst all this, I really wish they had buffed their passives, which they did not. That's the one thing I want to say. Their passives might still hold them back from being actually good, because their passives are still pretty bad. But their stats are really good. They got improvements to cards they needed improvements for, and they're getting relics. So that might help them a lot. So for the relics, out of the 3 of the OG characters, I think Rimuru got the short end of the stick. These 2 relics, so this is Millim's. Sorry, you can't see my mouse. This one's Millim's, the big one. And this one's Benimaru. You see how short Rimuru's is? Base Rimuru's Holy Relic is that for each 4% of HP that he loses, he gains 1% attack related stats. Sort of like an inverse Merlin, right? Where the more HP she has, right, the more attack related stats she gets. Like for each 4% remaining HP, she gets 1%. It's sort of like the opposite for Rimuru. For each... Actually, maybe I should retranslate this. Maybe he's getting Ren's Relic. No, it is... yeah, for each 4% of HP that he loses, he gains 1%. Now, the way it's worded, it could be that either, you know, every time that he loses HP, he gets an extra attack buff that's permanent, or it's like a stacked thing for like when he just has lower HP, he just gains more attack. We're gonna have to see when it comes in game. It would make sense, the first option, because of the way his stance works, with him recovering HP and him having a taunt. He's gonna take a lot of damage and he's gonna recover the HP, right? So we're gonna have to see. Millim's Holy Relic is essentially Rem's passive. So we're gonna pull her up here. So Rem's passive is for each time that she gains ultimate gauge through the means of combining cards, using cards, or moving cards. She gains attack related stats by 5% for 3 turns up to 5 times as buffs. And when she gets 5 ultimate gauge, she gains 30% max HP. Now, Millim is not exactly the same, where instead of getting 5% attack related stats, Millim gets 10% crit chance and crit damage, which makes sense because Millim, although, you know, it would be nice if she had like Amplify, like Rem, which makes a lot of sense with her passive, but Millim has... what's the skill called again? Spike, which doubles crit damage. So the more crit damage she has, the better with her passive, and the more crit chance she has, the better, because she's going to be more consistently hitting those crits. So really, really nice. Really, really nice. So, and Benimaru, he essentially gets Lolly Merlin's Holy Relic, which is a really good relic. God damn it. Which, when attacking an enemy that's debuffed, you do 20% more damage, and for him, he also gets an extra effect on top of that, where he heals 25% of damage dealt. And for Benimaru, attacking a debuffed enemy is, like, incentivized because he actually has weak point. So, and he debuffs the enemies himself too. So, I don't know, these units got pretty nice stuff going for them. The only thing I must say though, their passives are still old and still going to be very, very detrimental for them in terms of their general use. If they could, you know, before the update actually changed them, that'd be pretty nice, but we'll see. Similar to how they buffed Festival Zeldris, right? They could easily go here at Benimaru, right? And be like, instead of like getting 3% per skill use up to 10 times, gain 6% up to 5 times. Easy change that would just make the skill more convenient, right? But unfortunately, that's not being changed, so... But even without that being changed, it's still really, really massive buffs. Guaranteed slime character ticket, I can buy in the shop. And then these bundles, they're saying dear mats, great stuff. Changing the pack shop look, I guess. They're buffing some bundles, which I'm not gonna really go over. And they're removing like these bundles, which were terrible. So I like that. And now you can spectate friends on friendly match. So you can like invite someone to play with you, and then also invite someone to like spectate the match as well, which could make for good content, I suppose. They're bringing, you know, obviously new costumes for the Rimuru and the Shuna. We'll have to see them in the game to see them actually better. New cosmetics for the OG characters. Milim obviously now having a weapon slot for her Holy Relic. She also has a weapon slot for, you know, weapons. And I'm pretty sure you're gonna be getting this one and then a few other ones for free to just fill them up. I already talked about the free tickets. I was just looking at something else here. I see that they're giving the SR Rimuru here. I haven't seen them mention anywhere that he's in the banner. I'm going to assume he is, but I just haven't seen it mentioned anywhere. I'm going to assume he is, though. A new story thing, which ties in with... so you can see like these free cosmetics here being given out. So I'm surprised they didn't include the Milim weapon here as like an added bonus, like new stuff. But they're bringing like these cosmetics for the slime Rimuru here with the mustache. Where is it? So Clayman is a new boss battle, which is where you'll be getting the Holy Relics. They mention these are two weapons for Milim here, which you're going to be getting from the event. They, in the cosmetics for Rimuru here, mentioned Ifrit coming back as well. But I didn't see anywhere in the patch notes. I mean, they didn't do it. It was like a magazine that was reporting on it, said that Ifrit would come back, but I did not see anything about it on the patch notes. So I'm not sure, to be honest. Yeah, it says right here you can also make the sacred objects for KOF. If that's true, it's not anywhere, so I'm going to assume it's actually not true. I'm going to be getting some extra goodies as well from the event. You can now use Rimuru or Milim as your cheer characters, which is nice. Is this for the SR Rimuru? Wait. Yeah, you can get 6 copies of the SR Rimuru for free. Okay, so maybe he is not on the banner then? Because you just get like 6 copies of him, it seems. Yeah, because you get clear various events and set special move from, you know, Slime Rimuru Tempest to level maximum. So that's about it. One thing though, I was actually kind of shocked when I saw this here in the patch notes. They are adding Green Sauriel to the SSR tickets and the SR tickets for goddesses. I did not expect that. And that means Tarmiel, Red Tarmiel will be in the SSR tickets and the SR tickets. So, yeah. Any SSR tickets you get from now on, make sure to save for Red Tarmiel. If you want to use for now on Green Sauriel, fine, but I would suggest for Red Tarmiel just because for his link. And that's about it. So let me know what you think of this. I am pretty excited to summon tomorrow for Rimuru. I think I'll be summoning for 5 characters, so that will be an experience, but should be fun. Let me know what you think.